So I'm making this video to further explain how to use the RGB and the red LEDs on the EDU baseboard. So inside the finite state machine, the original one, you have these four possible states, and then these values here are the output. But these will work only for 6 discrete LEDs. So we have to change this value, these values, in order to send bits to the red LEDs and then some to the RGB. So how can we do that? So there's several ways you can do it. It's an 8-bit string, right? So let's say, for example, we want to have yellow on the RGB and red on the LED. One thing you could do is you can use the lower 3 bits for the red LEDs, where this third bit, bit 2 would be for the most significant LED, and this bit 0 would be for the least significant. And then you can use the upper nibble, these 3 bits for GBR respectively. So if I turn on red and green together, what's going to happen is you're going to get yellow on the RGB LED. So in the state where I'm supposed to have yellow on the RGB and red on the LED, I need to change that value to 54 on the finite state machine. So that would be in in this one here. Now I'm only doing one example. You still have to change the other 3 so that it works correctly. Now inside the main code, in the original example, it takes all 8 bits and it sends it out through one sensor. Well, now you have to have 2 sensors. So sensor by itself is going to port D. You might want to make another constant, maybe call it RGB or something. I'm sorry, not sensor, the light. So this light here is for the red LEDs. You may want to make another one for the RGBs. I'll call it RGB, and that's going to be for port F. Now the LEDs, the RGB LEDs are on pins 1, 2, and 3 of port F. Alright, and pin 1 is for red, 2 is blue, and 3 is green. So you got to keep that in mind too. Alright, so now we have it all in one 8-bit string here. So what I want to do is I want to split it. So for the LED lights, I'm going to read in the whole 8-bit string, and then what I'm going to do, what you can do is you can mask out or zero out the upper bits. So if I were to AND this with 7, effectively what I'm doing is this. I'm ANDing it with 7. I'm basically zeroing out these upper bits, so I only end up with this, and it'll only turn on the red bit. And that's what gets sent out to port B in this part. Now you need to do the same thing for RGB. Right, so we want to take, I'll just copy this bit here because we want to get the 8-bit string. Now for the RGB, what I want to do is I want to shift it over 3 so that it's in these pins, so it goes out to port F pin 1, 2, and 3. Remember, the least significant is pin 0, so we want to put it 1, 2, 3. So I need to shift it over 3, and then that will send it out through the RGB, and that's it. That's all you need to do to change your code. Now you need to go through here and figure out what are the correct strings here to get the RGB and the LEDs to light up correctly. Hope that helps.